Well, the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution reads, "The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized."
The founding fathers of the Constitution created the Fourth Amendment to protect privacy. Before the Fourth Amendment was created, law enforcement was able to just walk in a home, search, and take whatever items they wanted whenever they wanted. Back in this time, trading goods illegally was common, and the government would bribe law enforcement officials to search and take items. The Fourth Amendment prevents this from happening, and here's what Officer Mulkey has to say. Do you feel that the Fourth Amendment helps protect your privacy?
I think it doesn't just help protect my privacy, it helps protect all citizens' privacy. I think that's the intent of it, to prevent overreaching government or overzealous law enforcement, so that you are secure in your effects.
Right, and they can't just search whenever or whatever they want.
Correct.
The Fourth Amendment protects our privacy in many ways, such as stopping law enforcement from just entering and or searching anything personal. They are required to get a warrant and or have probable cause, and Officer Mulkey explains.
All the procedures have to be lawful. And like you said, this is about the Fourth Amendment, and so we either have to have a warrant or it has to fit certain exceptions for a warrantless search. So we have to make sure that it falls into one of those things and that it's constitutional before we do.
But there are a few exceptions, such as Oren Kerr explains.
On its side, what the Supreme Court has called exigent circumstances. So this is an established exception to the warrant requirement that says if there's some emergency, if there's some reason for the police that they can't wait to get a warrant, then they can enter. And one of the classic reasons for exigent circumstances is for the destruction of evidence.
Many citizens have a misunderstanding about how the Fourth Amendment works. Some people believe that the police cannot search anything without permission. Some people think, like Steve Silverman says, that if the police say they are looking for one thing, such as drugs, and that's all, they can't be arrested for anything else. But truly, if they do find anything else, such as a gun, that still can be a reason to arrest you. Another piece of the Fourth Amendment that isn't fully understood is that once consent is given, it can be revoked at any time of a search. In my interview with Officer Mulkey, I learned that not all states require police officers to state that citizens have the right to revoke their consent. Idaho is not one of those states, but many states do require the police officers to inform the citizens that they have the right to revoke their consent at any time. Here are some more misunderstandings about the Fourth Amendment from Steve Silverman.
And what happens at that point? Is that a reasonable suspicion
Well,
if you do not consent?
No, that's a myth, and oftentimes police officers will try to trick citizens into thinking that their refusal is actually evidence of a search. Police need to have what's called probable cause, which is actual evidence that a crime is taking place. That could include something that they see, or actually the smell of marijuana itself could be probable cause. So that's certainly one good reason for young people to understand that. But if they say, "You don't mind if I take a look?" and you say no, that cannot be used against you in court.
Some people believe that the Fourth Amendment goes too far, but some people believe that the Fourth Amendment should protect our privacy and personal belongings more than it does now. Here's Officer Mulkey's point of view.
The Fourth Amendment was drafted obviously by our constitutional founders, and there's been a lot of court cases challenging it since then. So I would say it's not really up to me to decide if it's too much or too little. I would say it's up to the courts, but I have faith that the appellate courts and that our courts, strike a good balance of personal freedoms when it comes to the Fourth Amendment.
The Fourth Amendment sets guidelines when it comes to the police force searching a person. But not only does it protect a person from unreasonable and unlawful searches, but it's also a very key component into public safety. The police are trained to identify wrong and dangerous situations, and that's where the probable cause provision comes into play, especially during school, to help protect the safety of our students. Overall, the Fourth Amendment is a very important part to our everyday lives that gets overlooked way too often. Not only overlooked, but very commonly misunderstood. If the Founding Fathers did not put the Fourth Amendment in the Constitution, then the world would be a truly different place.